Hello and welcome back once again to the Wrestling Rant. Monday night, Raw, October 14th, 2013 from St. Louis, Missouri. The show starts out with Justin Roberts, the ring announcer, introducing Shawn Michaels, who last week was voted into being the special guest referee in the WWE title match for the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. Shawn comes out, of course, and he talks, and who gives a fuck? Randy comes out, and he talks some. They go back and forth for a bit, but the gist of it was Randy was trying to intimidate Shawn. Shawn was like, "You seriously trying to intimidate me? I've had matches with The Undertaker. You can't intimidate me." And he basically says, "You know what, if you even try to touch me, I'm gonna drop you with a Sweet Chin Music." Shawn goes to leave, Randy goes to grab him and goes for the RKO, but Shawn pushes him off. Randy bounces off the ropes and Shawn goes for the Sweet Chin Music, but I think Randy held onto the ropes or something. He bails the hell out of the ring. And all of a sudden, from behind, as Randy's backing up the ramp, there's The Miz, who attacks Randy and starts beating the shit out of him. Now, of course, this goes back to a couple of weeks ago when Randy attacked Miz in his hometown of Cleveland right in front of his parents. But also, Randy happened to mention that he was scheduled to have a match with The Miz right after his little confrontation with Shawn. So that was supposed to happen, the match. So I guess Miz decided to come out and jump him. But anyways, after the little brawl, they get pulled apart by security and referees and whatever. They cut to a commercial, and you're going to hear me say that a lot because there was a lot of damn commercials. Finally, when they come back from the commercial, the match has already started, Orton and Miz, and it turns out to be a decent match. The finish, Miz gets Randy in the corner and gets his leg hooked over the ropes, and he kicks it, as he's done before, and then he goes for the figure four. But as he's going for the figure four, for some idiotic reason, the Wyatt music hits, and the arena blacks out. Lights finally come back on, and there's Wyatt and Harper and Rowan up on the stage, and Wyatt's in his stupid rocking chair. The distraction distracts Miz long enough, he turns around and eats an RKO from Randy, and Randy picks up the win. And after the match, Bray talks, he cuts a promo, it sucks, they do their little cutaway gag, and they cut to another fucking commercial. When they come back, Fandango is already in the ring with Summer Rae, and he's getting his little Burning Man pyro thingy that hangs from the rafters. And then Santino Marella comes out. Fortunately, what ends up happening is, during the match, Santino was going for the Cobra, but Johnny ducked, and there was Summer on the apron, and Santino didn't want to hit Summer, so he pulled back. Johnny rolls him up and gets a 3 count, and so Fandango wins. Whatever the fuck. After that, they announce that there's going to be a tag team title match. The Shield defending against Cody Rhodes and Goldust. And that's going to be later on tonight. And they cut to another commercial. When they come back, we're in the office with Brad Maddox and Paul Heyman. And these two go back and forth. Heyman's bitching about Punk cheating at the Battleground pay-per-view using the low blow and whatever the fuck. And Heyman wants something done about it. And so what Maddox finally says is, okay, what we're going to do is, we're going to do a Beat the Clock challenge. Ryback will face R-Truth, and Punk will face Curtis Axel. Whoever has the fastest time of winning, Ryback or Punk gets to decide the stipulation for the match between Ryback and Punk at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. Okay, fine. They show some stupid video about John Cena's return, his, rehab since he had his surgery on his elbow and all this other shit. Motherfucker, stay gone. We didn't miss you at all. Just stay gone and rehab for a while. Anyways, Los Matadores come out with their stupid fucking entrance in which the camera focuses way more on the little midget bull than it focuses on either one of the actual matadors. So, way to be second banana in your own gimmick. Or your own entrance, or whatever. But they come out, and then they cut to a commercial break. Again. When they come back, guess who's in the ring already? Our resident jobber faction, the 3MB. They're already in the ring. It's going to be Slater and McIntyre versus the Matadors. And again, it's a decent match. By the way, the Fandango and Santino one was not so great. Anyways, the tag team match was decent, I guess. Matadors win with their little Samoan slam finish thing. After the match, Jinder Mahal comes into the ring. I think he was being taunted by the stupid little midget bull. And he comes into the ring to chase after him. He gets beat up by the Matadors. And they end up setting him up for the slam finish. And the midget bull springboards from the apron and does basically like a sitting senton on top of him as they slam him down for the finish. So, yeah. Heel tactics. Maybe not, I don't know, but whatever. After that, they show a recap from last week of Big Show and Stephanie, their little thing in the ring, and then Stephanie firing Big Show. And then later on in the night, the main event was the Shield match versus Bryan and Cody and Goldust. Randy shows up and costs Bryan the match. And then Show comes out and ends up getting beaten down by the... It recaps the whole ending to Raw last week, including Triple H getting knocked the fuck out by the Big Show. And they say that Triple H is going to answer, rumors or whatever the fuck. That's going to be up next. And they cut to another commercial. When they come back, the King of Kings music hit, and out comes Triple H and Stephanie. Stephanie talks first, and then Triple H talks, and he's getting all angry because he's pissed off that, after he got knocked out by Big Show, the crowd was chanting yes because of Daniel Bryan and all that shit. He gets really angry. And he starts like, you think we've been bad so far, you ain't seen nothing yet, this kind of bullshit. Ugh. Anyways, Daniel Bryan comes out. And while he's coming down to the ring, all of a sudden there's Alberto Del Rio who attacks him from behind, beats the hell out of him, and gives him the concussion kick. And Steph back in the ring says, "I'm sorry, what were you saying?" She gets all snarky. And then Triple H starts going, "Yes, yes," just mocking him. Of course the crowd's chanting no. They cut to another fucking commercial. When they come back, R-Truth is coming out. It's time for him to job to Ryback. While he's coming out, they show a recap of what just happened with Bryan being attacked by Del Rio. Apparently, they have a match later on tonight. Bryan and Del Rio. And we'll get to that. Ryback comes out with Paul Heyman, and it's time for the first Beat the Clock Challenge match. This match was boring as hell, and it went on for way too long. With R-Truth having been jobbed out so much over the last few weeks, I am surprised this match lasted as long as it did. The crowd's trolling throughout pretty much the entire match, because it was boring as hell. They were chanting Goldberg, and they were chanting Walrus, and they were chanting for JBL, and Jerry Lawler, and this and that, and everything else. Ryback finally ends up hitting the Shell Shock out of nowhere, actually, which is funny because normally he has to go through and hit the meat hook and then set him up and do the marching around the ring. No. Truth went for his axe kick. Ryback got out of the way and just instantly picked Truth up into the shell shock, slammed him, and got the win in 5 minutes 44 seconds. So yeah, the match lasted way too long. Anyways, they hype up the tag team title match for later, and they cut to another commercial break. When we come back, Stephanie is walking through the backstage area, and she comes across the Bellas. She informs Brie that she has a match against Tamina. Nikki is not allowed at ringside, but AJ will be allowed. Back in the arena, Tons of Funk comes out. And they cut to a commercial again. When they come back, the Real Americans come out. And as they're coming out, Coulter has a little picture-in-a-picture promo where he talks about Los Matadores for some reason. Again, the whole racist, they're illegals sneaking across the border, that kind of shit. So apparently they're trying to build towards a match between these two teams. I don't know if it's ever going to happen, but anyways. The match starts, Tons of Funk versus the Real Americans. This match turned out to be decent despite the horribleness of Tensai and Brodus. Brodus hardly got involved in this match. Tensai was getting his ass kicked by Swagger and Cesaro for most of the match. What ended up happening was, I believe Brodus eats the neutralizer from Cesaro, and Cesaro gets the win. And after the match, Cesaro goes to swing Brodus, but Tensai comes in to break it up, but he gets overwhelmed by Cesaro and Swagger, and then Tensai ends up taking the big giant swing. Whoop-de-doo, they cut to another commercial. And when they come back, Tamina is already in the ring. And then Brie comes out. And AJ's at ringside too, of course. Looking cute, as she always is, in her little pigtails. Anyways. Crappy Divas match is crap. Brie attempted a really bad Canadian Maple Leaf. Threw Tamina into the ropes, and as she came back, did the roll through into the half crab, but she had no leverage because she wasn't even sitting down with it. She was leaning over her off to the side, using the wrong arm to hook the leg. It was one of the most atrocious Canadian Maple Leaf attempts I've ever seen. Ugh. Anyways, after another painfully long match, Tamina gets the win after basically doing a big boot. Just kicking Brie in the face. She gets the win. After the match, she picks Brie up and Samoan drops her. And then picks her up and gives her a big shoulder breaker. And that sets her up so she can do the Superfly Splash on her. And then AJ gets in the ring and Tamina holds Brie up so AJ can lock in the Black Widow. And finally, after they're done attacking her, Nikki finally comes out to check on Brie. Shouldn't she have come out as soon as the match was over? You know, because Stephanie only said, you're not allowed at ringside during the match. Anyways, they cut to a commercial break. When they come back, we're back in the office with Maddox and Stephanie. And then Brian comes in. He's pissed about what just happened to Brie. He's like, what's your problem and all this and whatever. That's pretty much all there is to that. Back in the arena, Punk comes out. And it's time for the second Beat the Clock Challenge match. Axel comes out with Heyman, of course, and we finally start the match. The match is going for a while. Whatever the fuck. Punk gets the win with the GTS, of course, with 11 seconds to spare. And so Punk gets to decide the stipulation. Heyman's fuming. He's all the way up to the stage by now. And Punk grabs a mic and he's like, where are you going? The party's just started. And he says, you know what? I guess there was something earlier where Heyman was talking and said he would pick to do a handicap match with Punk. So Punk said, you know what, I like that idea. So we're going to do it. But it's going to be Ryback and Heyman versus Punk in a Hell in a Cell match. So we're going to have a handicapped Hell in a Cell match, Ryback and Heyman versus Punk at the pay-per-view. So Heyman's not going to be able to run away. And Axel won't be able to come down and get involved because of the cell. Hopefully, at least. Anyways, after that, they hype up Bryan versus Del Rio, which is going to be up next, and they cut to a commercial. When they come back, they're recapping Del Rio attacking Bryan from earlier. Bryan is already in the ring, I believe, or maybe he was just coming down, I don't know. But they cut to another commercial. Finally, when they come back, Del Rio comes out, and they finally start the match. Right. This match was okay, I guess, but it had a real terrible finish. There was a commercial break in the middle of the match, and after they came back from the commercial, I noticed that the ring steps had been moved. So I'm guessing somebody took a bump into the ring steps. I don't know who the hell it was, I missed it. But Del Rio's bleeding from the mouth. And I think Bryan was about to get the win. He had softened up Del Rio. I think he was going for the yes lock or something. But then, hey, there's Randy up on the Titantron. He's backstage somewhere. And he says, you know what, I was sad to see what happened to your fiancée Bree earlier. In fact, I'm going to go check on her right now. And the camera pans over, and there's the trainer's room, and the Bellas are sitting on a table. Randy goes in and looks back at the camera and just creepily, really slowly closes the door. And then you can hear the Bellas screaming. From behind, there's Del Rio, who rolls Bryan up, but only gets 2. After Bryan gets out of it, I think Del Rio does the concussion kick again. But Bryan gets up and roundhouses Del Rio, and then bails out of the ring to go after Randy. So, while he's running towards the back, the referee counts him out. So, Del Rio wins by countout. Bryan shows up at the trainer's office, and he comes in, he has to, bust in the door. Randy's nowhere to be found. And the Bellas are sitting there looking gormless, like always, because they can't fucking act. And Bryan's like, where's Randy? And they're like, I don't know. And then they're like, no, look behind you. And of course, there's Randy, who clocks him from behind, beats him up a little bit, and then throws him headfirst into, the doctor's table there. And this apparently is enough to just knock Bryan out, because he's done after that. And Randy stops beating him up. This beatdown was incredibly weak, and Bryan still had to sell it. They finally get Randy the hell out of there. More referees show up, and there's the doctor checking on Bryan, and the Bellas are checking on Bryan, and they cut to a commercial. When we come back, we're in the office again with the Shield guys. And they're talking about what just happened to Bryan and whatever the fuck. And then there's Triple H and Stephanie, who inform them that now the tag team title match is going to be contested under no disqualification rules. After that, we get another stupid John Cena return video. Then Goldust comes out. And then Cody comes out. And then we go to another fucking commercial. And when they come back, they announce that CM Punk's going to be on SmackDown this Friday. Then the Shield comes out. And then we get the big match, big title match introductions from Roberts, like this match really means something. Whatever. It's time for the tag team title match, no disqualification. This match was kind of boring at first, but then towards the end they finally decided to pick it up. Despite the fact that it was no DQ, they were still tagging in and out. Like it wasn't a tornado rules for some reason. But let's see. Cody was about to win the match, but Ambrose gets involved, and since it's no DQ, there's nothing the ref can do about it. It turns into an all-out fucking brawl between the 5 of these guys. The Shield had the upper hand, and they were about to give the big triple powerbomb to Cody, but then Goldust rolls into the ring with a chair, and he beats the fuck out all 3 of the Shield guys with the chair. But then Reigns comes back, and he's able to level Goldust from behind or something, and Goldust drops the chair. Reigns picks it up, and he's going to hit Goldust, but he swings it at him, and Goldust ducks underneath and hits the ropes, and he comes back and crossbodies Reigns with the chair in between them. And Reigns sells it like it was gruesome death. Like, Jesus. On the outside of the ring, there's Rollins and Cody brawling. And Cody goes to do the disaster kick springing off of the ring steps. But Rollins catches him in a powerbomb and then takes him over and powerbombs him into the corner of the barricade. And so that wipes out Cody. Over on the other side of the ring, Goldust is brawling with Ambrose. And Ambrose gets the hell out of the way, and here comes Reigns, who spears Goldust through the other side of the barricade, over by the timekeeper, of course. So that wipes out Goldust. Let's see. Ambrose picks up Reigns, who was still the legal man. Cody had gotten back in the ring somehow. But Ambrose picks up Reigns and throws him into the ring because those 2 are the legal men still. And then all of a sudden there's a commotion out in the crowd, and the camera looks over. Here comes Big Show from out of the crowd. And he comes in and he knockout punches Ambrose and lays him out. And then he levels Rollins with the same thing. And then he's looking at Reigns, who's still in the ring. And Reigns, they're like, oh, come on, motherfucker. And during the distraction, Cody springs off of the ropes to go for the disaster kick, but Reigns ducks it. But as he does, he leans into the ropes, and Big Show clocks him with another KO punch. Reigns is out cold. Cody covers him and gets the win. New tag team champions. The crowd blows up. Show gets out through the crowd, obviously. Triple H runs down to the ring. He's pissed. He's ripping his suit jacket off. He's pissed as hell. Big Show's laughing at him. He's up in the crowd just waving at him, you know. And Cody and Goldust leave out through the entranceway with the tag titles. Show's over. So what we got basically tonight was a pretty boring show for the most part, up until the very ending of the last match, where they finally decided to pick up, you know, they finally remembered, hey, this is a no DQ match. Let's actually do stuff. You know, let's have Ambrose interfere. Let's use weapons and shit. It's no disqualification. Why are we tagging? Should be a brawl the whole fucking match. They finally realized that, and they're like, okay, let's do it. Which was exciting, and the crowd got behind it, and it finally turned into a pretty damn good match. So anyways, new tag team champions. Triple H is pissed off because Big Show interfered, even though he's supposed to be fired. Like I said, though, overall the show was still pretty fucking boring. We know that we're going to have a handicap Hell in a Cell match at the pay-per-view. And of course, Cena versus Del Rio for the World Heavyweight title. And then of course we have Bryan and Orton for the WWE title with Michaels as the referee. And I'm pretty sure that's a Hell in a Cell match too. Or at least I would fucking hope so. Or maybe they're saving it until next week on Raw to announce that little stipulation. This is going to be it's going to be in the Hell in a Cell, so nobody can interfere. Don't know why they're setting up the Wyatts versus The Miz. Wyatt's promo was pretty shit, but it really just came down to Miz is apparently obsessed with being famous. I don't really get that. But whatever. Show, like I said, wasn't really all that great. It was boring up until the end. And that's pretty much it for that episode of Raw. Once again, October 14th, 2013, St. Louis, Missouri. That's it for the show. Thank you for watching. The kids are going to wave goodbye to you. Alright, see you later. Good night.